We thought we'd take some time when we start out here just to talk about the many lessons that people tried, and it looks like we have a good variety of them up there, and find out how they went. We can go in the order listed on the board, or if someone is dying to go first, we can do that as well.
Well, I can just say that I didn't do a mini lesson because I don't teach a class. I'm a service provider, but I went through and I made copies because I didn't buy a book of all the things that I thought would apply to kids that I work with if I ever go back to working with a large group of students, or a group of students, because usually they're one person. Some of them were very good.
Well, why don't you share one that you'd like to try?
The one I liked was, where did it go? Sharpening work skills. I mean, because the things I do, I'm a transition facilitator, you know, and then I also said, like, how much paid to attend class? They're not abbreviated here. I don't know, I had a whole bunch of them. I'd have to look at the copies again. So.
Well, I tried some vocabulary ones. They were on page 54 and 56. The one was building your vocabulary, and the other one was don't be such a borf. And I thought they went really well together because it was having the kids use context clues to learn an unknown word. And the one lesson was they were given words that they needed to guess, that were real words, that they needed to guess the meaning without context and then with context. And they did that pretty well. Once they had the context, most of them were able to guess what they were. The second one on the don't be such a borf is the second lesson that I went right into, and that's where the kids made up a nonsense word, and they had to put it in a sentence and have other kids guess it. Now, what I had to go back and reteach with them was what made a good sentence and what kinds of clues to put in their sentence so people could understand the meaning of their nonsense word. Because some kids wanted to make, if I looked at the nonsense word on page 57, some kids, if they would stop it was so glyph outside. And I would tell them, you know, that's not enough information in your sentence for people to be able to tell what glyph meant. So this lesson took longer than I anticipated. It ended up being like 2 days because they had to go back and revise their sentences. And then we made a game of it, though, on the second day of interpreting everybody's words. And they really liked it. I mean, they thought it was a really fun activity. But I didn't anticipate that they had to have such a hard time making a sentence with enough clues in it so that they could guess the word. But it was good. And, you know, and even now they're still talking about, oh, I learned that from context. So it's kind of stuck with them, the whole context clues kind of thing. So I was excited.
The lesson I did was on page 90-91. It's called Join the Million Word Club. And the reason I chose this is that in my class, one of the things we keep track of is the number of words that the kids read each year. I use the Read 180 program, so fortunately the computer does that for me. When they work on the computer and when they take quizzes on their books, it keeps track of how many words they've read. And so as a class, when we reach 1 million words, we have a pizza party, and we just met that milestone right before spring break. So I thought this was a good lesson to tie into the fact that as a class they read 1 million words together, but if you look at the chart on page 91, it kind of breaks down the fact that each individual person could read 1 million words a year by just reading about 21 minutes a day, according to this research study, which they were pretty impressed with and surprised that that's all it would take. They're required to read 20 minutes in my class every day, and they're supposed to read 20 to 30 minutes at home. So then they figured out, well, if they were really doing that, they would read 2 million words a year, and look at the difference in the percentile rank on tests. And so a couple of them are like, well, now I know why you're always telling us to read. And so I think they made the connection. We had a good conversation about this little chart over there. They shared some of their thoughts about the study and how they could benefit. And when I went around to collect the sheets, I had just made photocopies of page 91 one girl asked why I was collecting it because she wanted to take it home and show it to her mom. So I thought, well, gosh, anytime they want to take something home, that's pretty cool. So, so I think they got it.
Okay, cool.
I can go next. I did the lesson on page 111. It's how much will you be paid to attend this class today. I did this with an 8th grade class, so I figured they're going to be in high school soon. So we kind of talked about this is how much you'll get paid to be in each of your classes in high school. And we went through and did all the math, and they were pretty surprised that, oh, I'm actually going to earn more if I